You smarter. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. One more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. I'd like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Let me entertain you. Are you not entertained? All right, this week's shows. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting to load it up. I have a new show, something a little bit different. It's I am part of a motivational speaking night, the Good Fight Motivational Night on Thursday, September 17th. I encourage you to check that out. I don't do a lot of public speaking, but Marina M. Dream, she's a motivational speaker based out of Little Rock. She's also a great photographer, too. So don't let her fool you. She's not just great at motivating people. She's a good photographer. So have her take some pictures of you while she's motivating you. But Marina M. Dream is who's putting this on. It's the Good Fight Motivational Night, September 17th from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m., and that's over at the National Black Belt Academy, 2104 Harkrider Street, Suite 107, Conway, Arkansas. Get there. If you're close, get there. There's 10 speakers, well, 11, including Marina M. Dream, and we're all going to be talking, putting on a show, motivating you, giving you a little idea of what's going on in the world, and how I get my little piece where I get to give you my peace of mind. Yeah, give you a piece of my mind. Can I spare it? I don't know. We'll find out together. Also, on Friday, I'm at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, my usual Friday night gig. Oh, yeah, the Rab. It's the place to be in Conway, Arkansas. Video dance party, karaoke jam. Did he say karaoke? Yeah, I said karaoke. Full bar. Kitchens open, pool tables. In fact, there's a pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to make some money or try to make some money on a Friday night, you might be able to make a living out of playing pool. And you're the stars of the show, at least for a few minutes. You get to be up on stage. It's a little concert starring each and every one of you at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, 8 p.m. Friday night. And then on Saturday, I have a wedding. You're not invited unless you are invited. Maybe some of the people at the wedding are watching this right now or listening to this. But I have a wedding on Saturday. I'm so excited. The weddings are coming back. Yeah, baby. Yeah. All right. Today on the program, well, I forgot to tell you. Also, if you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. Now, on with the show. Today on the program, 10 things you need to know today for Monday, September 14th, 2020. 10 things you need to know today. Number 1, West Coast fire death toll rises to 35. The death toll in the West Coast wildfires rose to at least 35 people on Sunday, with dozens more still missing in Oregon. The fires have burned 4.6 million acres across several states, destroying thousands of homes and other buildings, and forcing tens of thousands to evacuate. Most of the devastation has occurred in Oregon, Washington State, and California, where firefighters are battling 3 of the 5 biggest wildfires in state history. Fires also have broken out in Idaho, Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming. Across the West, 94 major blazes are still burning. Heavy smoke is threatening air quality, not just in remote areas where the fires are concentrated, but also in major cities, including Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle. This is according to CNN and the Associated Press. Number 2, Trump holds first indoor rally in nearly 3 months. President Trump held his first entirely indoor rally in nearly 3 months on Sunday in Henderson, Nevada. Trump renewed his attacks against Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden, criticizing the former vice president's voting record and mental state, and accusing him of waging a, quote, dangerous war on the police, end quote. Democratic Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak tweeted that Trump's, quote, reckless and selfish, end quote, decision to hold an indoor rally violating the state's ban on gatherings of more than 50 people was, quote, putting countless lives in danger here in Nevada, end quote. Biden's campaign said, quote, if Donald Trump cared at all about curbing this virus and protecting the safety of his supporters, he wouldn't hold events like this. But Trump doesn't, and he won't, end quote. This is according to The Hill and CNN. Number 3, Trump, Biden condemn shooting of L.A. County deputies. President Trump and his Democratic rival, Joe Biden, on Sunday condemned the shooting of 2 Los Angeles County sheriff's deputies, both of whom remained in critical condition a day after they were ambushed in their patrol vehicle in Compton. The attacker is still at large. Trump tweeted that if the deputies die, the attacker should face the death penalty. Quote, animals that must be hit hard, end quote, he wrote. Biden said he and his wife Jill were keeping the officers and their families in their prayers. He called the attack, quote, cold-blooded, end quote, and, quote, unconscionable, end quote, and said the attacker, quote, must be brought to justice, end quote. Police and elected leaders urged people in Los Angeles to unite in condemnation of the attack. Anti-police demonstrators gathered outside the hospital where the deputies were being treated. This is according to the Washington Post and the Los Angeles Times. Number 4, judge blocks Postal Service from sending vote-by-mail postcard in Colorado. A federal judge on Sunday temporarily blocked the U.S. Postal Service from sending people in Colorado a postcard about voting by mail that the state's top election official said was misleading. Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, a Democrat, argued that the mailer had inaccuracies, including a line that said voters must request a mail-in ballot at least 15 days before the election. Quote, for states like Colorado, where we send ballots to all voters, the information is not just confusing, it's wrong, end quote. Griswold tweeted on Friday. The Postal Service said it designed the mailer so it would be general, not state specific, because it intended to send it to every residential and post office box address in the country. This is according to the Wall Street Journal and The Hill. Number 5, Israel to impose second nationwide lockdown. The Israeli government on Sunday announced it would impose a nationwide 3-week lockdown starting Friday, the eve of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, to combat rising coronavirus infection numbers. The decision comes before a string of national holidays over the next month, which prompted fears of mass gatherings. The lockdown means that people can only venture 500 meters from their home, and non-essential businesses, including gyms and restaurants, as well as most schools, will close, making Israel the first country to reimpose such severe restrictions on a national scale after implementing a lockdown earlier in the pandemic. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has faced fierce criticism for reopening the economy too quickly this spring during the initial phase of the pandemic, said the country's hospitals, quote, raised a red flag, end quote, that the health care system could be overwhelmed if infections continue to rise. This is according to Haaretz and The Guardian. Number 6, Tropical Storm Sally expected to hit Louisiana as hurricane. Tropical Storm Sally churned through the Gulf of Mexico early Monday with top sustained winds of 60 miles per hour, threatening to strengthen into a Category 2 hurricane before hitting New Orleans or nearby areas in southeastern Louisiana on Tuesday. The storm comes just 2 weeks after Hurricane Laura hit the state's southwestern coast. Forecasters expected Sally to start hitting the Gulf Coast on Monday with heavy rains, powerful winds, and potentially life-threatening storm surge. Hurricane Paulette in the Atlantic began hitting Bermuda with heavy rains late Sunday. That storm has top sustained winds of 80 miles per hour. Forecasters said it could hit Bermuda with up to 6 inches of rain and, quote, life-threatening surf and rip current conditions, end quote. This is according to NPR. Number 7, Afghan Taliban representatives start direct talks. Afghan government negotiators met Sunday with Taliban representatives to start direct talks toward ending their conflict after 2 decades. The Trump administration brokered the meeting as part of an effort to withdraw the last troops from what has become the longest war ever for the United States. The agreement to hold direct discussions marked a diplomatic breakthrough, but the talks are expected to take months. The Afghan government is calling for an early ceasefire. The Taliban want to establish an Islamic system in the country. Quote, it is important that both sides continue the negotiations patiently until a peaceful solution is found, end quote. Abdullah, the head of the government delegation, said Sunday in a press conference in the Qatari capital, Doha. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. Number 8, players call attention to racial injustice in NFL Sunday openers. Professional football teams met for the NFL's first full slate of Sunday games in their season, with players kneeling and making other gestures to call attention to racial injustice. Some players stayed off the field during the national anthem and the playing of quote, lift every voice and sing, end quote, often referred to as the Black national anthem. In Atlanta, players wore armbands honoring the late civil rights leader, Representative John Lewis, Democrat, Georgia, and dropped to one knee and watched the opening kickoff go through the end zone. In Minnesota, the Vikings hosted the family of George Floyd, an unarmed black man whose death in police custody in May touched off months of protest around the nation. Everywhere except Jacksonville, Florida, the games were played in empty stadiums due to the coronavirus pandemic. This is according to the Associated Press. Number 9, Oracle beats out Microsoft in TikTok bidding. ByteDance on Sunday rejected an offer from Microsoft and accepted a bid from Oracle Corp to take over U.S. operations of the Chinese company's short video app TikTok. The deal reportedly will not be an outright sale. Instead, Oracle will become TikTok's, quote, trusted tech partner, end quote, in the U.S. President Trump, citing concerns that the Chinese government could access user data, has threatened to shut down TikTok unless ByteDance sells its U.S. business to an American company by September 15th. The deal with Oracle still must receive approval from the White House and the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S. TikTok has about 100 million monthly users in the U.S., up from 11 million in early 2018. This is according to the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. Number 10, U.S. Open. Thiem beats Zverev for first Grand Slam singles title. Dominic Thiem beat Alexander Zverev in Sunday's U.S. Open final, giving the Austrian tennis player his first Grand Slam title. Thiem was the second seed and is ranked 3rd in the world. Going into the competition, the 27-year-old had lost 3 consecutive Grand Slam finals. He won on Sunday in 5 sets, 2-6, 4-6, 6-4, 6-3, 7-6, 8-6. Thiem was the first player to take a Grand Slam title after being down by 2 sets since Argentine Gaston Gaudio at the 2004 French Open. The last person to accomplish such a comeback in the U.S. National Championship was American Pancho Gonzalez in 1949. Thiem and Zverev, 23, are longtime friends. Quote, I wish we could have 2 winners today. We both deserve it, end quote. Thiem told Zverev after the match. This is according to BBC News. That's 10 things you need to know today for Monday, September 14th, 2020. Thank you so much for listening. This has been What Makes You Smarter. I hope you're doing reasonably well. Drop me some comments. Let me know what you're doing in this time, in these crazy, crazy times. Also, if you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. And if you'd like to check out some of my online streaming gaming, look it up. Hashtag KeysDAN Gaming. I'm on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Yeah, hashtag KeysDAN Gaming. Makes it a little bit easier to find it wherever streams are found. At least my streams. All right, that's it for me. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.